This is the Roulette Master, and I just received an incredible email from a man named Jason. He said he has the best roulette system you will ever use, and not only that, he said it will beat consistently the system that won the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge, Randall's system. So today, we're going to put his new system up in a head-to-head matchup with Randall's system that beat all those other systems, and I can't wait to see which one wins, and he says he can prove it's better. So let's get started with Randall's system first. That's $10 on second 12, $10 on second column. We have jackpot numbers on 14, 17, 20, and 23. A $20 total bet. And let's get started. Here we go. That's a 1 red, and that's a loss. And each time you lose with this one, we're just going to go up 1 unit and spin again. And we have 20 each, 40 total out there right now. And that's a jackpot right off the bat, 17 black. It's an $80 win, so we're already up $60. Let's go back to 10 and 10 where we started and spin. Okay, that's a 31 black. That's a loss, so let's increase by 1 unit from 10 to 20, $40 total bet, and let's spin. That's a 28 black. And that's a loss. Let's go up 1 unit on each. Now we're at 30 each, 60 total. And here we go. That's a 7 red. Okay, we lost again, but we have plenty of bankroll. This is a $2,000 bankroll system. A $1,000 bankroll if you want to use $5 units, and then a $200 bankroll if you want to use dollar units. So here we go. That's a 0. We definitely don't want that. So let's go ahead and increase by 1 unit. So now we'll have 50 each, and the higher we get these the jackpot numbers really pay out when they get big. So let's see what we get here. Oh my goodness, another 0. So worst start ever, but that's okay. We're minus 240. Let's go up to 60 each and spin. And here we go. That's a 4 black. And that's really unlucky, but that's okay. We're just going to keep going up. Now we're at 70 each, 140 total. This happened a few times in the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge, and this one continued to come back and beat the other systems. So that's a $70 win. We're at minus 290, and if you're not in session profit, which is the highest profit since you started, then you keep the bet the same. And we almost hit the 17. That would have been nice, but we'll take a win with the 5. That's a $70 win. We're minus 220, and let's rebet and spin. We're at 70 each right now. And here we go. That is a 33 black. And we lost, so we'll go up 1 more unit. We have pretty good coverage here, but we just keep missing. But I'm hoping that'll change here soon. Again, usually if it does that, before long it comes back. And we just keep losing. So let's keep increasing. And the good thing is we're not doubling or tripling. We still have $1,500 left in the bankroll. Let's turn this thing around. Oh my goodness, that came close to the 20. That would have been nice. But we'll take a $90 win there. We're at minus 430. And the best thing is if you work your way back and get some partial wins and then you hit a jackpot, then you're huge. But my goodness, there's another 0. It's a lot of zeros. So we're at minus 610. Let's go up another unit. Now we're at 100 each, 200 total. And here we go. Okay, that's a 14. That's a jackpot. That's a $400 win. We're at minus 210, so we keep the bet the same. Usually when you hit a jackpot, you're in session profit, which is the highest profit so far. But if you have really bad luck, sometimes you need to stay there. And again, we need to definitely have some good luck because we've had bad luck so far. However, we did get that 1 jackpot, so let's see if we can get some wins. That's a 26 black. That's a nice $110 win. Let's get some wins back to back here and get back in profit, and then really boost it up. Here we go. That's a 12 red. It's another loss. So we have $1,500 left in the bankroll, so we have plenty, but we need to be patient here and wait for good things to happen. That's a 30 red. Man, that's very unlucky. So let's go up another 10. And now we're at 130 each, 260 total. Again, this one got behind a few times in the bracket challenge, but it continued to come back and beat the other systems. But we're just losing every spin with nice high coverage. So We'll go up again. And here we go. It can happen. That's why we have bankroll, and let's hope it turns around here. That's a win there on 18 black. It's a 140 win. Let's rebet and spin. We have more than half our bankroll left, so we just need to get things going now. All right, there's a jackpot. That's going to help. That's a 17 black. It's a $560 win. We're minus 320. Let's leave the bets where they're at. We can get some partial wins to get us back or another jackpot. Oh, man, that's a good win. Even though we almost hit 2 back-to-back jackpots, we'll take it. And before long, we should be back in profit if things go well. And again, this happened in the bracket challenge some. This system got down, and then it came right back. That's an 8. That's a 140 win. We only need one more win to get us back in profit again. And then we can start working our magic and making more profit as we go. That's a 28 black. We lost, so let's go ahead and go up another unit. Now we're at 150 each, minus 320. But I think we're going to get back in profit before this is over. Let's find out. Okay, that's a 30 red. And that's not good. That's a loss. That's a $300 loss. So let's go up another unit. We're not doubling or tripling. We're being patient and waiting for luck to change our way. That's a win, 22 black, but it got close to those jackpot numbers. That would have been nice. We're at minus 460, and let's rebet and spin. All right, here we go. That is a 6 black. Another loss. So let's increase again. Now we're at minus 780. That's really bad. But let's hope that it comes back. It did time and time again. And there's a jackpot 23 red. That's going to help a lot. It's a $680 win. That's fantastic. So one more of those and we're going to be huge in profit. We're not in session profit right now, which is the highest level of profit since we've started. But I do believe we're in profit now. And now we're up $70 and we can go back to where we started at 10 and 10. So that was just a really bad start. Now let's see if we can capitalize on resetting and have some better luck this time around. That's a 36 red. Excuse me. And that's why we always want to reset when we get in new profit, because that could happen right there at a large bet amount. Okay, that's an 11 black. That's a nice win there. We're up 70, so we'll just stay right there and spin again. See if we can get in new profit here. And that's a 1 red. That's a loss, so we're going to increase. Okay. Now we're at 30 each, 60 total. And I think now you're going to see that losing almost every spin is not normal with this one. And that's another win on 35 black. And we're up 60. Let's rebet and spin. And let's see if we can get new session profit here. That's another nice win, 24 black. So see, you don't lose every spin, just like it just happened to start out that way. Let's rebet and spin again here. Okay, that's a loss, 36 red. Okay, so we'll go up another unit. We'll go to 40 each, and we're only up 30 now after that loss. So let's get it back up there and get over $100 profit. That's a good win, 19 red. Okay, we're up 70. Let's rebet and spin. See if we can get another win here and get in new session profit. Stay away from that 0. That's a 9 red. And either way, that's a loss. So let's increase again. That took us down to minus $10. So let's increase by 10 on each again and spin. I'm thinking things are going to turn our way eventually here. And then the key is to cash out when you're doing well. And that is a loss. So we're actually down again, minus 110. And let's see if we can get some wins here and cash out with profit. All right, that's a jackpot, 20 black. $240 win. We're back up $130. And normally, just like you saw there, when you get the jackpot, it puts you back in session profit. The only time it does it is if you just lose a ton of them in a row. And that's a 7 red. We lost. We're still up 110. Let's increase and spin. Here we go. And that's a nice jackpot, 23 red. $80 win. We're up 190. You can see the jackpot numbers are 14, 17, 20, and 23. But I'm getting excited about trying this new one, and we're back at base level now. And he says he can prove, Jason says he can prove that it's better than this one. And here we go. Okay, that's a $10 win. We're up 200. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a nice jackpot, 14 red. Okay, we're up 240 now, so you can see things are turning around. And this is a lot of what happened in the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge. It got behind, and then it came back right before the end and beat whoever it was going up against. But remember, the secret to this system, we're up 250, is to cash out when you're doing well. Don't wait for it to cycle back down again. And that's a 28 black. That's a loss, so let's go ahead and increase. Now we're at 20 each, 40 total, and here we go. That's a 32 red. That's a nice $20 win. We're up 250. We'll rebet and spin, see if we can get a new profit here. That's a 2. That's a good one. Okay, so now we're up 270. We can go back to 10 and 10. And here we go. And just like Sonny always says, cash out when you're ahead and you're doing well and declare victory over the casino. That is a loss. Let's go up to 20 and 20 and spin. And here we go. That's a 31 black. And that's a loss. Let's go ahead and increase again. Now, I'm sure in Las Vegas, those of you that ran into me saw me wearing that cash out shirt. It says cash out on the front, declare victory on the back. It helps remind you that you should cash out when you're doing well. And that's really important. That's what Sonny always talks about. And here we go. That's a 1 red. That's another loss. Okay, but we're still, even after all those losses, we're still up 70. Let's increase again to 50 and 50 and spin. Here we go. There's a win on 16 red. Okay, $50 win. We're up 120. Let's rebet and spin here. And that's a 9 red. I believe that's a loss. So let's go ahead and increase again. Now we're at 120 total bet. And let's see if we can get some good numbers. Some second 12 hits would be nice. And there's one with a 22 black. Okay, we're up 80. Let's rebet and spin at 60 and 60. And here we go. That's an 11 black. That's a nice win. And we're up 140. So let's rebet and spin again here. And you can either get a bunch of partial wins or a jackpot. And that's up on the partial win. We'll take it. Okay, $60 win. We're up $200. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's another good win, 16 red. Okay, so we're up 260, and that happened pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and go back to 10 and 10. And spin. And here we go. And that was good timing to go back to 10. All right, let's increase by a unit. Now we're at 20 and 20, and we're up $240. And let's see how this one does down the stretch here. That's a 2 black. That's a win. Okay, we're up 260. Let's rebet and spin. See if we can get another win here as we come down the stretch here. That's another win on 21 red. Okay, and we're up $280. Let's go ahead and go back to 10 and 10. And spin. And we got about a minute left here, and then we'll get to that new system of the day that says, Jason says he can prove it's better than this system that won the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge. And we're up $290 now. Let's rebet and spin. That's a 30 red. Okay, we lost that one. Let's go ahead and go up a unit. Now we're at 20 and 20, $40 total. That's a 34 red. That's another loss. Okay, so we're up 230. We'll go up one more unit here and spin. That's a 26 black. That's a nice $30 win, and our time is up. So Randall System, that won the Roulette Master Bracket Challenge, made $260 in 15 minutes. And now Jason's system that he says is he can prove is better is coming right up. Let's jump right into it and get started. I can't wait. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for the incredible new True Champion Roulette System by Jason. He says this will beat Randall's system that won the bracket challenge, and he can prove it's better. So the first reason he says he can prove it's better is because he said the first flaw in Randall's system is that he picks the second column because there's way more black numbers than red. And he says when you go on a long stretch of red numbers, it just absolutely destroys you when you're on second column. So he actually goes ahead and bets $10 on first column because there's an even amount of red and black numbers. The next thing he does is he looks at the history, and he makes sure in the last few numbers that these jackpot numbers across the bottom here have not hit yet. So the 26, 34, 30. So there's one right there in the third 12, the 29, the 21, the 2, 16, and 32. So this is telling him to bet on first 12 because the jackpots that have hit recently would have been in second 12 or third 12. And then he puts a $1 hedge bet on 000 for a $21 total bet. And he says that is his lucky number. So here we go. And let's get started. That's a 21 red. And we lost. So we're going to go ahead and increase. And remember, we're going to put a $1 on 000 and then put 10 on first column and first 12 and spin. And then once we get a win, once we get a jackpot win, we're going to adjust which dozen we're betting on. Okay, that's a nice $18 win there. But we're not in session profit, so we're just going to rebet and spin. And here we go. So he says the combination of hedge betting the zeros and then making sure that, you're not on the wrong side of a red or black streak is really important. So let's go ahead and increase 10, 10, and 1. Okay, and now we're at a $63 total bet. Here we go. That's an 11 black. All right, that's a nice $27 win. And we're at minus 18. We're just going to rebet and spin because we're not in session profit, which is the highest profit since we started. Here we go. That's a 4 black. That is a jackpot, $117 jackpot win. Once you hit a jackpot, what you do is you put the $10 bet on first column because it's an even number of red and black numbers. And then we go through the numbers and see which jackpots have hit recently. We know the first 12 has 13, 16, 19, and 22. I don't see up there. And then we have 25, 28, 31, and 34. And so we can bet on second 12 or third 12. I don't see either one of those up there. Okay. So let's go ahead and bet third 12 this time, which makes our jackpot numbers 25, 28, 31, and 34. All right. And we don't forget to put your $1 hedge bet on the 000. So let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. That's a 29 black. That's a nice $9 win there. Okay, we're up 108. We'll just rebet and spin. Remember, we're going to stay on the same dozen until we get a jackpot. And here we go. That's a 35 black. It's another $9 win. So we're up 117. We'll just go ahead and rebet and spin here. And here we go. Let's see some high numbers. And that's a 0. So that's a hedge bet. So we lose $3. We don't do anything different. So if we don't increase the bet at all, we just rebet and spin. And it doesn't really hurt us that bad taking a $3 loss. So that's the idea. That's why he doesn't bet more on the 000. That's a 30 red. That's a $9 win. So we're up 123. And he just doesn't want it to be catastrophic when you hit the zeros, and that's pretty smart. So let's see what we get here. That's a 14 red. Okay, and that's a loss, so we're going to increase. So we'll increase the 1 to 2, and then the 10s to 20s. And we're up $102. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 10 black. That's an $18 win there. Nice. We're up $120. And fantastic. So we hit the first column there. We still have not hit a jackpot number, so we're going to leave it the same. And here we go. That's a 19 red. That's another nice $18 win. Now we're in session profit at 138. So we're going to drop back to $21 where we started at 10, 10, and 1. And we're not going to change the where we're betting on the dozens until we hit a jackpot. Okay, that's a loss, so we'll increase. We'll do the 10s first. Then we'll add $1 to the hedge bet and spin. And here we go. So far, so good. Let's see if this continues. And that's a 34 red. Ooh, that's a jackpot. That's a $78 jackpot win. We're up $195 now. That's fantastic. So we're going to start over. We're going to always put our 10 on the first column. And let me know in the comments what you think of him. He says this proves that it will be better. One of the things that proves it's better is because if you go on a red or black streak with Randall's system, you could get crushed. So let me know what you think of that. And let's look at these numbers here. So 34, 11, 19. So it looks like we need to bet on, well, the 10's in there too. Let's look a little bit further. Then we have the 30 and then the 35 and the 29. So we could bet on first or second 12. Let's go ahead and bet second 12 this time and spin. And here we go. Okay, and that's a 2 black. That's a loss, so we'll go ahead and increase. So we'll add the 10s in, then we'll add the 1 on there and spin it. $42 total bet now. Here we go. And that's a 0. Again, that's our hedge bet. Keeps us from catastrophic losses, but we don't change the bet. We're up 168. We're just going to rebet and spin. Won't hurt you too badly, but keeps you from getting, sometimes you see 3 or 4 zeros in a row when you're playing with live dealer or automated. And that's a nice win there. We're up 186. We'll rebet and spin, and then remember, we're not changing the dozens until we hit a jackpot on second 12. And that's an 18 red. Okay, that's a nice win. We're up 204. So we can go back to 21. And we need to put that $10 bet back out there. And spin. All right, here we go. Okay, that's a 23. Okay, that's a $9 win. We're up 213. We'll rebet and spin. You see those jackpot numbers across the first column and the second 12. And that's a 32 red. And that's a loss. We'll increase. So 13, 16, 19, and 22 are what we're looking for. And let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. That's a 10 black. That's a nice $18 win. We're up 210. Let's rebet and spin. Here we go. Trying to establish some new session profit here. And that's a 9 red. And we lost that one, so let's increase. We'll do the 1 first this time, and then the 10s. Okay, we're currently up 168. Let's go ahead and spin. And I do see what Jason's saying about if you bet on a column that has almost all red or almost all black numbers, and that's a jackpot, $117 jackpot win. We're up 285 now. That is awesome. So remember, we always start on first column. Let's go through the numbers. 16, 9, and 10. So first and second are out. We're going to go third 12, and then first column here with $1 bet on 000. And I do see what he's saying about how if you do go on a really long red or black run, you could get in trouble with this, or with the original system. But it does well also. Let me know what you guys think. And that's a $9 win. We're up 294. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 35 black. That's a nice $9 win. We're up 303. Let's rebet and spin. Here we go. That's a 10 black. Another nice win. We're up 312. And here we go. And we're going to be patient until we hit that jackpot. And that's a 2 black. That's a loss. Let's go ahead and increase. We'll do the dollar first and then add the tens in. Now we'll start making 18 per spin until we hit the jackpot. And that's a 29 black. Okay, that's a nice $18 win. We're up 309. We'll rebet and spin, see if we can get a high number here. And here we go. That's an 18 red. And we lost. So let's go ahead and level up. We'll put 10 on third 12, another 10 on first column, and then put $1 on 0 double 0. We're at $63 total bet now. Here we go. That's a 34. I think that's a good one. That's a jackpot, $117 jackpot win. Now we're up $384. Okay, let's put our $10 bet on first column. We have our dollar bet on 0 double 0. Let's look at the numbers. Obviously, the third 12's out. And then second 12, we have 13, 16, 19, and 22. We have the numbers along the line are 18, 29, 2, 10. So it looks like we're going to go second 12 here. And let's go ahead and spin, and then hopefully we'll get a jackpot on second 12 before too long. If not, hopefully we'll get some wins at base level. There's a loss. So we're going to go ahead and add 10 to second 12, add 10 to first column, then add $1 on 0 double 0. Let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. Okay, that's a 33 black. Okay, that's a $42 loss. Let's go ahead and we'll add the 10s and the 1 in, and we're at $63 total bet now. That's a 12 red. And we lost again. So we're up $258 even after those losses. So let's add 10 and 10, and then we'll add $1 over here. And remember, too, we're going to play for the full 15 minutes to test it. But remember what Sonny always says about cashing out? When you're ahead. So this would be a good time if you were playing, and because you never know, it could cycle back down. So we lost again. Let's increase. And we're looking at 13, 16, 19, and 22 as jackpot numbers. So let's see if we can get a second 12 hit. And that's a third 12 hit, 36 red. And that's another loss. So we've had a bunch of losses in a row, and we're only up $69 now. So that's, again, why if you're playing in the casino, don't keep going like I'm doing while we're testing. Cash out when you're doing well and declare victory over the casino. But let's see if we can get this back here. That's a 20 black. That would be really good with Randall's system. But that's still a $54 win there. We'll take that. We're up 123. And our jackpot numbers are going to be 13, 16, 19, and 22. Let's see if we can get one of those or just get some partial wins in a row. That's a 24 black. We'll take another $54 win. We're up 177. Let's rebet and spin. And you never know. Sometimes you can work your way back up and then hit a jackpot, and that's fantastic. That's a 23 red. Another $54 win. We're up 231. And now we're climbing back up. Let's see if we can get another win. That's a 32 red. That's definitely a loss. Let's go ahead and increase. Okay, 10 on each. And we're still up 105, but let's get a win here. And a jackpot would be huge at this bet amount. That's a 22 black. That's a $273 jackpot win. Now we're up $378. Okay, let's put our bets back out on first 12, first column and 0 double 0. And then let's look at the numbers. So we're going to stay away from second 12 that just hit. And then we have 32, 23, 24, 20, 36, 8, 12, and 33. So none of them. So we can pick any of them except for second 12 here. Let's go ahead and go first 12. And we're up $378. And let's see how this one comes down the stretch here. That's a 20 black. That would be good with Randall's system, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and increase. And spin at $42 total bet. Okay, that's a 4 black. Oh, wow, that's a $78 jackpot win. How about that? We're at $435 now. Fantastic. So let's put the dollar on 0 double 0. And then we'll put the 10 on first column. And let's look at the numbers. We're not picking first 12. We're not picking second well, actually 1922. Yeah, we'd have to go third 12 and first column at $21. And here we go. That's a 3 red. And that's a loss. So let's go ahead and increase. We're not doubling or tripling. We're just going up 1 unit each time we lose. And we're at $414. And let me make sure I didn't put 2 of them over here. Actually, no, never mind. That's right. We got it. That's correct. Okay. So we're at $42 total bet. Let's spin, see if we can get a high number here. And here we go. That's a 28 black. That's a jackpot. And we're right at 15 minutes here. I made $492 profit in 15 minutes. So, man, really did do well. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is better. And let me know if the evidence that Jason said is it makes sense to you. And if you would play this way better. I know a lot of people do like to cover the 0-0-0 with hedge bets. But yeah, let me know, because this is just did really well today. Both these systems made money, but this one's definitely the winner. And thank you for sending that system in. You know, I really appreciate everybody sending those systems to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. We do this every day in the search for the best roulette system possible. And I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.